Bronson Reed offers rare glimpse into life before WWE RAW. Bronson Reed, known to WWE fans as one of the most dominant forces in the ring, recently shared a side of himself that many had never seen before. Known for his imposing stature, unmatched power, and devastating tsunami splash that has left countless opponents flattened, Reed is typically viewed through the lens of sheer in-ring intimidation. Yet this week, just ahead of WWE RAW, the Australian powerhouse offered fans a glimpse of the man behind the wrestling persona. In a rare moment of personal reflection, he posted a heartfelt series of photos featuring his wife and daughter, captioning the post simply, "My two girls will forever have my heart." What might seem like a small gesture struck a chord with fans, showing that beneath the towering frame and aggressive wrestling persona lies a devoted husband and father. The timing of the post was notable. With Raw coming up in Anaheim and Reed preparing for another high-profile appearance, he chose to share this tender insight into his life at a moment when audiences often expect only aggression and spectacle. Reed's career has been defined by physicality and dominance, his in-ring performances characterized by power, intensity, and strategic ruthlessness. Yet the decision to step away, even briefly, from the chaos of WWE and display such vulnerability allowed fans to see a dimension of him that wrestling rarely showcases. This human side, centered around family, is something that resonates deeply in a world where characters are often larger than life, and their private realities remain hidden. Bronson Reed's reputation in WWE is built on moments of awe-inspiring dominance. His signature tsunami splash has become one of the most feared moves in professional wrestling, capable of turning the tide of any match and establishing Reed as a formidable opponent. Whether taking on high-flying competitors or clashing with fellow heavyweights, his physical presence alone commands attention. But while these in-ring accomplishments highlight his athletic ability and charisma, Reed's social media gesture reminded fans that his greatest victories are not always measured in title belts or match outcomes. His post celebrated the quiet triumphs of fatherhood and family life, achievements that often go unrecognized in a world focused on spectacle and competition. The post quickly resonated with the WWE community, spreading across social media and prompting heartfelt reactions from fans. Many noted the contrast between Reed's in-ring persona and the tender image he presented, emphasizing how rare it is for a wrestler of his stature to openly share personal moments. By showcasing his wife and daughter, Reed bridged the gap between his professional identity and his private life, allowing audiences to connect with him on a more intimate level. In doing so, he humanized the archetype of the dominant wrestling powerhouse, proving that behind the intimidation and strength lies a man motivated by love, loyalty, and family devotion. This glimpse into Reed's personal life also adds an interesting layer to his on-screen character. Fans often engage with wrestling not only for the athletic feats, but also for the narrative and emotional resonance of the performers. Reed's act of sharing his family life adds depth to his storylines, providing an emotional context that can enhance audience investment. When he enters the arena under the bright lights, the roar of the crowd now accompanies a narrative that extends beyond scripted rivalries and championship aspirations. It frames Reed as a multi-dimensional figure, a competitor who fights not only for victory but for something profoundly personal, the love and security of his family. The timing of the post also served to create a softer counterbalance to the intensity of his upcoming matches. As part of the vision, a faction that includes Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman, Reed is positioned as a force of precision and calculated aggression within WWE. The alliance thrives on dominance, strategy, and ruthlessness, and fans expect to see Reed unleash his power at every opportunity. Yet by sharing this intimate family moment before stepping into the arena, he added a layer of relatability to a character often viewed as untouchable. It's an approach that subtly enhances the narrative complexity of his persona, allowing fans to engage with him not just as a performer, but as a person with stakes and emotional motivations that extend beyond the squared circle. For the audience, Reed's post was about more than just displaying family photos. It was about creating a point of connection. Wrestling thrives on blending reality and storytelling, and these rare personal glimpses add weight to the spectacle, grounding the larger-than-life personas in genuine human emotion. Fans who may admire Reed for his in-ring abilities now also feel a sense of closeness, understanding that the man who commands awe and respect in the ring is also a loving husband and dedicated father. It reframes the way audiences perceive his performances, giving context to his intensity and reinforcing the stakes of every match he participates in. Moreover, Reed's decision to share such moments offers insight into the broader culture of professional wrestling, where vulnerability is often a carefully managed commodity. wrestlers routinely project larger-than-life personas designed to captivate audiences, emphasizing strength, toughness, and dominance. Moments like this, when an athlete steps outside the narrative framework to reveal something authentic and personal, are powerful precisely because they contrast so sharply with the usual presentation. Reed's photos of his wife and daughter serve as a reminder that the people behind these personas are multifaceted individuals, capable of tenderness, love, and introspection alongside the physical prowess and theatrical intensity that define their careers. Fans responded with enthusiasm and support, many expressing admiration for Reed's openness and noting how it enhanced their connection to him. Comments highlighted the relatability of the post, emphasizing that even the most formidable figures have private lives filled with emotion, love, and responsibility. For many, it was a refreshing reminder that the spectacle of wrestling does not exist in isolation from real life, and that the human stories behind the performances are often just as compelling as the action inside the ring. By offering this window into his personal life, Reed enriched the narrative tapestry surrounding him, giving fans additional reasons to invest emotionally in his journey. The post also has implications for how Reed's upcoming appearances may be interpreted. As he prepares for Raw in Anaheim, audiences now have the context of his personal motivations and priorities. Every match, every move, every interaction in the arena carries additional weight. As fans understand that Reed is not just competing for titles or storyline advancement, but also performing as someone who represents and fights for his family. This dual narrative, combining the intensity of in-ring action with the emotional resonance of family devotion, enhances the viewing experience, offering depth and nuance to a character who is already compelling by virtue of his size, skill, and presence. Additionally, Reed's openness reinforces the idea that vulnerability can coexist with strength. In a profession that emphasizes power, aggression, and domination, showing emotional transparency can feel counterintuitive, yet it humanizes performers in a way that resonates deeply with audiences. By acknowledging his love for his wife and daughter, Reed demonstrates that true strength encompasses not only physical capability but also emotional commitment, loyalty, and the ability to nurture and protect. This message, implicit in the post, adds richness to his character and creates a framework for fans to appreciate both his wrestling persona and his real-life identity. Conclusion: Bronson Reed's recent social media post exemplifies the multidimensional nature of professional wrestling. It highlights the contrast between his in-ring persona, a dominant, physically imposing powerhouse, and his life outside the arena, where love, family, and personal connection are central. The photos of his wife and daughter, accompanied by his heartfelt message, remind fans that even the most intimidating figures have private lives and personal victories that are equally significant. These glimpses into Reed's personal world deepen audience engagement, enrich his narrative, and offer a compelling reminder that professional wrestlers are more than the sum of their moves and storylines. As WWE RAW approaches, fans will not only anticipate Reed's athletic feats, but also carry with them an understanding of the man who fights for something far more personal than titles or fame, a husband and father whose greatest triumphs exist off the mat, in the quiet, powerful moments of family life.